INGEN returns in Jurassic World Rebirth. That's right, the company at the heart of the Jurassic Park incident and the infamous Site B is making its return in some capacity in the new movie. We will examine how and why in this video. Welcome back to Jurassic Outpost.
Saddle up, let's get this movable feast underway.
Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali were all featured in Jurassic World Rebirth's first look images. We broke down those two images along with the all-new plot synopsis in our last video, but for some context, 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the one in which they once thrived. The three most colossal creatures within that tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. A lot to digest there, and a lot more to that synopsis which was published intertwined with cast and crew details, but we got our first real understanding of what this movie is going to be about, and it sounds pretty intriguing to say the least.
Maybe we
Sam, if we don't get to that orchid now, all of our work would have been for nothing.
I'll be the first to state my hesitance. After the last three movies, there's definitely a desire for things to go back to basics in more terms than just the very concept of getting stuck on an island full of dinosaurs, but down to the way that story is told. This movie could be another Jurassic World adventure, but by all accounts, not just those who have been lucky enough to read the screenplay or know somebody involved, but from those actually involved, the words they're saying all indicate this movie represents a bit of a franchise restructure to help steer it back on track, so to speak. Anyway, two images were released showing us first Jonathan Bailey, Dr. Loomis, and Zora, played by Scarlett Johansson. I really love the warm skin tones here in this image, the warm jungle. While of course these early images are not the best indication of how the final movie is going to look, being of course so early in the production and with the entirety of post-production still to come, I do hope that the final movie retains this warm, natural look, especially when it matters here in the warm jungle. It's giving off original Jurassic Park vibes, that is for certain. The second image shows us the character of Duncan Kincaid, played by two-time Oscar winner Mahershala Ali and star of the upcoming Blade, and it's what's behind the character that's got a lot of fans speculating. If we zoom into the sign that sits out of focus behind him, it says "Await rescue craft here." He stood on a dock of some kind on the island. Below that text, more unreadable text, but then an INGEN logo. INGEN is a bioengineering company founded by John Hammond back in the 80s, who researched and ultimately resurrected prehistoric life, namely dinosaurs. Most of their work was conducted on Isla Sorna, Site B, as revealed to us in The Lost World.
Site B was the factory floor. That was on Isla Sorna, 80 miles from Nubla. We bred the animals there and nurtured them for a few months and then moved them into the park.
The dinosaurs were bred on that island before being moved to Isla Nublar, the island of the original park, once they'd grown to the appropriate size and maturity. Despite the many disasters that faced the company on both of those islands and ultimately in San Diego back in '97, the company remained in existence before ultimately being bought out by Simon Masrani in 1998 ahead of Jurassic World's development.
John Hammond entrusted me with his dying wish, and not once did he mention profit. Spare no expense.
That is according to viral marketing documents that coincided with the Jurassic World movies, which also covered knowledge of what the company had been up to in the years preceding Jurassic Park 3. Despite all of that, the company does remain relatively elusive. I mean, who really knows what they were up to? And that leads us to now. Despite the company's relatively under-the-radar status over the last few years, since the events of Fallen Kingdom and in the last near decade, their logo is seen on this island, wherever it is we are going in Rebirth. And thanks to Bryson, we've got a good look at the actual version of the logo being used in the movie. Now, of course, this is a spoiler, so this is your warning. Okay, so here is the logo. Eagle-eye viewers will notice that this is a new INGEN logo. It's not the original logo we saw in Jurassic Park. It's not the logo that we saw in The Lost World. It's not the variant logo we saw in Jurassic Park 3. This is a new logo for the company, or at least for us, the audience. What does this mean canonically? Well, at this point, it really is too hard to say. For example, INGEN could have set up and established whatever this new island is years back, decades ago even. This could be a very old logo. Perhaps this island was a failed Jurassic Park, a second resort somewhere else. Maybe after the events of Jurassic World, a splinter group from INGEN established something on this new island, and with that, had a new logo. There is always the chance, of course, that this logo being different means absolutely nothing, but when multiple versions of the logo already exist in this timeline, it does make you wonder what that means. This could just be a decision made by the production designers to have a slightly different looking logo for no other reason than to be slightly different. But what do you think? Of course, this movie could just be taking us back to Site B, back to where it all began. INGEN certainly had a huge presence on that island, having pretty much abandoned it overnight. Many buildings, structures, vehicles, they remain on the island. Signage, billboards, it's all over and it all dons the INGEN logo. Safe to say, we could just be going back there. And maybe this logo is like the one in Jurassic Park 3. The official Jurassic World website, JurassicWorld.com, has now updated to reflect the announcement. A new era is born. The website includes the full synopsis, which details our expanded cast list, among other details. It shows us the 2 new images, and you can now set up a reminder to get tickets. It's early days, but I do hope we get to see some sort of viral marketing campaign to coincide with this movie. It would be nice to see this website start to fill out with information about the movie. And if this movie really is tackling some sort of biological disaster that's affecting humans or whatever it might be, then beginning to establish that through a viral campaign, if done correctly, could be very effective. Now, as you would expect, there have been a few leaks about this film. They always seem to coincide with official drops, don't they? Well, we cannot validate any of the following, and of course this represents a possible spoiler warning, but as we all begin to speculate on what the 3 colossal dinosaurs are from the official synopsis, an account called My Time to Shine revealed that, according to them, the 3 dinosaurs are the Mosasaurus, which is a colossal marine reptile, a sea dinosaur, a Titanosaurus, likely a massive long-necked sauropod, a land dino, and the Quetzalcoatlus, a pterosaur, a flying reptile, a sky dino. These 3 prehistoric behemoths would make sense in a way, a land, sea, air creature, a piece of DNA from each, I don't know. It does begin to sound like a bit of a video game. As I said, we can't verify those 3 species, but what do you think are the world's 3 most massive dinosaurs? And what do you make of INGEN's return? It's pretty exciting to know the company, at least in some capacity, will have a presence in this movie. But now I'm beginning to speculate on what this island is supposed to represent. Is it an old island? Is it one of the 5 deaths? Or are we going to a new place where INGEN had a presence? Share your comments down below, as I would love to read what you have to say. And in case you missed our in-depth breakdown of these images and the synopsis, be sure to check out our other video. But until then, leave your thoughts about this movie down below, and thank you for watching.